All right, this is activity 9.2, parallel lines. So you are going to need tracing paper for this. And I'm going to walk through how to do the 3 different types of transformations that it wants you to do with these parallel lines. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is use your tracing or patty paper to trace all of the things on the piece of paper. So you want to trace line H, trace line H, line A, line B, and point K. So you're going to want to do all 3 lines and then points as well, and make sure to label. So the first thing that it wants for number 1 says to translate, so that means to slide lines A and B 3 units up and 2 units to the right. So the reason I'm using the tracing paper is because when I line everything up, I'm actually going to look at this point K to direct my movement. So I'm going to slide up 3 units and 2 units to the right. So actually, I'm going to change this. We're going to go 3 units down. That way we're not going off of our paper. So we're going to go 3 units down. So I'm going to take this dot and move it down 3. So 1, 2, 3 units down, and then 2 units to the right. So if you watched point K, I'll do that one more time. Starting right here, we're going to go down 3. So watch point K. It went down 1, down 2, down 3, over to 1, over 1. And there is my new line. So I'm just going to sketch what I got. So point K is now right there, which means that line B is right there, and line A is just about 1 square above of it. So there's B prime and A prime's line, and here's K prime. So then I ask, what do you notice about the changes that occur to lines A and B after the translation? And you should notice that they are still parallel with each other. Still parallel. So they're still never going to touch. So then we're going to slide to number 2, and I say rotate lines A and B counterclockwise 180 degrees. Reminder, if it's 180 degrees, this should not really matter. So that's trying to trick you, okay? Using K as your center of rotation. So we're going to line them back up on the original. K is my center of rotation, so I'm going to put my pencil on K, and I'm going to rotate my paper 2 times. I just go to the right. So there's 1 time. What's down? 2 times right there. And you should notice that line B right here is just extending off of itself. So line B is just extending further out. And you should notice that line A, which was right here, is now on the opposite side. So B just extends out, and then A is just right here. So there's line A prime prime, and here's B prime prime. So what did we notice down in the question? B extends itself, and A flip-flopped sides. Okay? And then the last one says to reflect lines A and B across line H. So I'm going to go back up here. Paper should be getting a little bit crowded. There's point K, here's line H. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to count. First of all, the first thing I'm going to do is count how many points away K is from the line. So it's about 1, 2, and almost 3. So that means when I flip-flop this, K should be almost 3 squares off of my line of reflection. So I'm just going to take my patty paper and literally flip it over. It's backwards now. I'm going to line H back up with my paper. Okay. And your lines should now be, I'm going to use my darker so you can see this. When I reflected them, I'm just doing a real basic sketch. They should be like that. And A should be on the outside still. A is always on the outside, so A's line is on the outside and B's is on the inside. So when I reflected that, I literally just took the flip-flopped mirrored image to the other side of the paper, and I just flipped it by taking my patty paper physically and flipping it. Okay, so what do we notice about the changes that occur to A and B after, that's supposed to say after the reflection. That's a typo. You should notice that A and B, A is still on the outside, B is still on the inside, and they still remain parallel. So the big thing with this is that no matter how we translate, rotate, or reflect parallel lines, they are always going to remain parallel. Parallel lines always remain parallel. And that's the big takeaway from this. No matter what, those lines will never, ever, ever intersect with each other from that original image. So go ahead and try this on your own. Watch again if you need to, and then please let me know if you have any questions at all.